Hora. It meant complete surprise achieved. Air bases first. The Japanese plan was meticulous and systematic. Crush American air power before it can get off the ground. Strike the American fighter planes first to gain control of the air. Then hit the long-range patrol planes and bombers so the Japanese task force at sea could not be located and attacked. Dive bombers came screaming down to bomb and then strafe. Then fighter planes, machine guns and cannons blazing. Neat rows of American planes burst into flame. The attack struck air bases at Wheeler Field, then Kaneohe Bay, Pearl Harbor, Hickam Field, Eva, and later Bellows. The placid Sunday was a sudden inferno. At 7:58, a radio operator at Pearl Harbor flashed out the message in plain English. Air raid, Pearl Harbor. This is no drill. Too late. The Japanese had command of the air. In 15 devastating minutes, they'd crippled American air power in Hawaii. Just before 8 o'clock, 16 torpedo bombers dipped down and spread out, flying less than 50 feet above the water. The ships below prepared for morning colors. Military bands prepared to play the Star-Spangled Banner. A sailor looked up and wondered why the Army was holding a drill on a Sunday. But it was no drill. Torpedoes dropped into the water at close range and churned torpedoes. The U.S. Navy believed the harbor was too shallow for torpedoes, but not for these. The Japanese had made torpedoes that could be launched in 40 feet of water. On ship after ship, a roar below decks, a lurch, a huge water geyser 600 feet into the air, then a choking cloud of vapor, oil, and smoke. Torpedoes ripped holes below. The battleships West Virginia and Oklahoma each took 9 in the gut. 2 more blasted California. Another struck Nevada. Oklahoma listed sharply. Water rose. Emergency lights went out. Men trapped below cried out in darkness. Above them. Was it over? Not yet. Just before 9 o'clock, the second wave of Japanese planes filled the air. But again, the fighters and bombers wrecked airfields and air stations. Bombs exploded on the ships at Pearl Harbor. The objective of the second wave was to finish off any battleships and to destroy any American aircraft that might retaliate against the Japanese fleet at sea. In the first wave, there'd been little time to fight back, but this time, despite their losses, the Americans were ready. Machine guns chattered from the ground. Anti-aircraft fire pocked the sky. A few American pilots got fighter planes into the air. The dogfights began. 20 attacking planes fell from the sky. The battleship Nevada tried to escape by sailing to sea. 23 dive bombers swarmed to attack her. After 5 direct hits, the badly damaged ship was purposefully run aground to keep the entrance channel to the harbor clear. Fires ignited by a direct hit on the destroyer Shaw detonated the forward magazine, ripping her bow. Planes destroyed. By nightfall, 1,158 Americans were wounded, and 2,390 people were dead. 49 civilians, too, died that day, most from friendly fire. The Japanese lost just 29 planes, 5 midget submarines, and 64 men. Their improbable surprise had worked, with one hitch. No American aircraft carriers had been in port. Pearl Harbor was not a knockout blow, but the bold Japanese attack had changed warfare forever. Naval air power, not battleships, would dominate the conflict to come. The next day, President Franklin D. Roosevelt addressed Congress.
December 7th, 1941, a date which will live in infamy.
As he spoke, the Arizona still burned. Desperate rescue workers still struggled to cut through to crew members trapped in the capsized Oklahoma. The last survivor was pulled out that same afternoon.